Alright, it's the Guitar Accountant here. I wanted to give a quick review on these two amazing guitars. We've got a Tom Anderson on the left, a Suhr on the right. And I kind of wanted to go through and compare both of these. There's not a lot of information online, and these are, both expensive. They're both 24 frets. They're both super strats. But after owning these, there's definitely some differences between the two. Probably between the brand and how they build these guitars. So the one on the left is a Little Angel, Tom Anderson. The one on the right is a Suhr Modern. The one on the left is a Shorty, so it's a Little Angel, which means it's got the Gibson scale length, 24.75, and the Suhr has the 25.5 scale length. The one on the left also has a 43 millimeter nut, whereas the Suhr is the narrower 1.65. So let's talk about the frets. Both are stainless steel, both are jumbo frets on each of these. But the Tom Anderson, the frets are not as high, and I think that has to do with how they crown them. The Suhr definitely is noticeably taller. You don't feel the fretboard as much. It definitely feels smoother when you're playing up high, fast runs. It's almost like you're gliding on the strings. Both of these guitars I've set up with 9s, so that is a definite difference, I can tell. It's not good or bad, but it is something that I've noticed here. The second thing here that I've seen mentioned is the cutaway. The Suhr is definitely a little more narrow. You'll see that. You can probably see on this video that the Tom Anderson, it's a little bit wider. I definitely like that feature on the Tom Anderson. Not that it's a big deal, but for some it is. That being said, on the Suhr, you've got the 4-bolt sculpted heel, and on the Tom Anderson, you've got the 2-bolt kind of sculpted heel. And I think I'm going to have to give this to the Suhr. The Tom Anderson isn't uncomfortable, but to be honest, after playing both a 22 fret Suhr with the heel that's not sculpted, but it is kind of angled and it's thinner, it's not as blocky as just a regular Fender. The Tom Anderson, while it is somewhat sculpted and it's nice to look at, I do think that there's more mass on the heel. It's a bit thicker. Maybe that helps with sustain, but I don't think it's as comfortable. I definitely think the Suhr, when you're playing up high, you don't feel as much wood up there, and it's just not as good as from that point of view. It's not bad, but I think that both the Suhr Modern and then even the standard Suhrs with the 22 frets where it's not sculpted, I think those are more comfortable. I think if Suhr sculpted those 22 frets guitars with the 4 bolts, if they were to just make that a little smoother, or even I think what ESP does where they take out one of the corners and they kind of shave it off, that would probably be even better than both of these. The next biggest difference here is probably that you'll notice this has the Baby Floyd. Not a ton of information online, so it's a Godot style on the Suhr. It's a Floyd Rose. It's blocked. Very comfortable. I like this a lot. I like it more than the standard Floyd Rose. On the Pete Thorn that I had and sold, that had an FU tone. I didn't like that bridge. It was very, very stiff. This Baby Floyd, you'll notice that if I pan up here, there is no locking nut. However, this is also a floating tremolo on the Tom Anderson. And for me, I gotta say, I like the Baby Floyd. I don't find that if I rest my palm on the bridge, it goes out of tune. It's got a low profile. It's really comfortable. I've had this for probably 3 weeks. I've played it a lot, and the guitar does not go out of tune. I've pulled up on the bar, I've pulled down, pushed down. I've gone crazy on it. I haven't had it go out of tune. So I really like it. I was hesitant at first to get a guitar without that, but I can see why so many of their models have that. Now, I haven't had to adjust it yet. I do find that the action, this came set up, I assume from Tom Anderson, the action is a little bit lower than I like. So whenever I'm bending notes, it takes extra effort or my fingers slip. Whereas on the Suhr, I found that to be set up a little better for my tastes here. So I'm a fan of the Baby Floyd. It works for me. Another criticism I have, I think, on both of these guitars is, let's take a look at the Suhr here. I'm a Les Paul player, and I've always preferred these toggle switches. And while this has a toggle switch, and not many Suhrs have it, it is an option you can get. You'll see them on some of the custom ordered ones. Why they choose to put the toggle switch right near the volume, I do not understand. I know that Tom Anderson, whenever you get the three-way toggle, they put it kind of in line with the volume and the tone. Suhr, I don't think you can choose where you want it, but it is an odd choice to put it right there because you kind of have to maneuver around the volume pot. It's kind of annoying. Why it's there, why they would choose to place it there, I don't really get it. My annoyance with this guitar is probably that middle pickup. I don't find the middle pickup to be all that great. Maybe that's just that I don't have that style of playing, but I think that the coil splitter there makes the neck and the bridge pickup sound better than that middle pickup. Another criticism I have is that for my playing, that middle pickup gets in the way. And it doesn't seem like I'm getting used to, picking right below it or above it. So I might try to lower that middle pickup because I do not like the way that that's hitting my pick. All right, so I don't have much else to say about these two guitars. This has the H3 Plus in the bridge, the Tom Anderson. This has an SSH Plus. They definitely sound different. The Tom Anderson, as you'll see online, it does sound more hi-fi, more modern. It's crisp, it's bright. I'm not a big fan of the SSH Plus. I've had a few guitars now from Suhr that have that pickup. It might just be my settings. It could be the speaker that I'm using, but I just find there's some annoying frequency bump in that pickup that gets annoying to my ears, and I do not like it. I'll comment on the necks here because they're both pretty common. You've got the even taper on the Tom Anderson, and this one is a little bit thinner. It's got the negative 0.02, so I think it's 0.7. Is it 0.785 to like 0.85 on the Tom Anderson? You can Google that. It's the standard size below the even taper. And then on the Suhr, you've got the 0.81 to 0.87, so it's the largest of the elliptical necks. Big difference. The Suhr definitely has a big shoulder compared to the Tom Anderson. The Tom Anderson feels very smooth on the shoulder. It's not a D shape, I don't think. Whereas the elliptical, I think they consider it an oval shape, but it feels like a D shape. I definitely prefer the Tom Anderson over the Suhr in regards to that. This Tom Anderson is 12 to 14 radius. I like it a lot, whereas the Suhr, which is a custom Suhr, it's 16 across the whole board, across the whole fretboard. This Suhr also has extra rolling, which I don't think they offer anymore. The Tom Anderson, though, the rolling that's done on the fretboard, I think it's very comfortable. It doesn't feel sharp or like there's an edge there, like some of the cheaper import guitars, Epiphone, where it feels very sharp, very, very much a 90-degree angle there at the fretboard. So no issues on either of these guitars with the little E string falling off the edge, anything like that. No issues with frets. Both are stainless steel. Both are very smooth. I will say that the Buzz Fenton tuning system on the Tom Anderson, it definitely sounds more in tune to my ears, and I really have not had to touch the tuning at all. I think when I put it back in the case one time, because it doesn't have a locking nut, one of the tuners got bumped, so I did have to, I think the low E string, but with that bridge and also just playing chords up and down the neck, it sounds better to my ears, and I haven't had to tune it. And everything just feels more in tune and more musical. I like it a lot. I think that's probably, just from a playing standpoint, a huge improvement over any of my other guitars. It's the first guitar that I've had with that system, and I can hear the difference, definitely. So other than that, I think that pretty much covers it. If you do have any questions, let me know. And I hope someone found this helpful. So, good luck.